Sisters in Fiber, coming to you from an entirely different set of provinces this week, as Jocelyn has officially made it to the Saskatoon for the next little bit. Diana is in our normal home base, which is Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I am coming to you via remote location.
Yep.
Oh,
So hopefully there's no crazy road noises. I shut the window, but if a siren goes by, you're probably still going to hear it because this one's
Jocelyn,
closer to the road.
Jocelyn's background noise is brought to you by Carpentry Dads. Carpentry Dads. Using skill saws to cut 2x4s in the backyard after dinner since I don't know when.
Forever, I think.
Give or take, yeah. We're on the microphone, so like we should be okay. But if
Yeah, I
there's
know.
background noise, there's construction going on, and the window is about 2.5 feet behind you. So
Yeah, mics are pretty good at picking up
well,
just voices. So I think we'll be
good.
okay.
I'm hoping so. All right. I don't know what your weather was like today. Mine was very summery.
Um, Spring. Decidedly spring. Very solidly springy today.
Yeah, we were over 20 degrees today.
We didn't quite get there. I think we got to 16 over here.
That's ridiculous. That's too warm for April.
It's beautiful, though. I got to sit outside on the patio all afternoon and watch some silly people go on Easter egg hunts. Yes, we had chocolate
Yeah,
Easter egg hunts for
of
the
course we did.
adults at my adult office workplace.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
As far as it's not an adult workplace, it's for children.
that pretend to do adult work, but we get paid adult money to do this work. So we're
Sure.
adults?
No.
No, you're right.
It's okay. I found out there's a new little pretzel place that opened up inside the mall
Ooh.
that I walk through to get my coffee from Starbucks from.
So you're getting pretzels now.
Uh, Jocelyn ate like a massive, huge bag of them today. There
Uh
will be
huh.
more.
Uh huh.
These
Are we
ones were
talking like
fresh.
the little crispy pretzels or like the big bread ones?
You can get the big bread ones, or you can get them in bites with cinnamon drizzle, cinnamon all over them, and cream cheese drizzle. Which ones do you think I got?
Oh, I'm drooling a little bit right now.
I'm going to be huge when I come home, and I don't care.
That's what vacations are for.
In my mind, yes. And apparently, I irritated him in by sitting down in front of the crochet knitting magazines in the Indigo chapters. I was in his way. Guess he really wanted that Vogue knitting.
You don't know. Maybe he did.
He complained to a manager about me. I had no idea. I was like, if he had actually gone, excuse me, I just need to get past you, what would I have done? I would have moved because I'm not a mean person. Nope. And he couldn't get around me and the 3.5 walking feet between me and the chair that sits in the middle of the aisle of that section. Apparently, I was too fat and taking up too much room. Like, oh man, you were just looking for something to complain about, weren't you? Grumpy people. Why?
Gotta love those
Why?
people. They just really make your day.
Well, the poor manager was just like, she's like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with where you guys are. Like, it's like no reason why he could not get around you or get any of the mail. I'm like, none. I wasn't blocking anything at all. I take care not to because I know how long it takes me to look through these things. I'm like, jeez. Fine.
Wow.
I give up. I give up. People are just crazy.
Great start to your vacation.
Hey, 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 broke a tooth.
Ooh, even better.
I'm just gonna try to get that fixed this week or next week. So at the dentist out here if I can. So there's that. My life's full of excitement. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's a thing.
Well, we are a knitting podcast.
Theoretically.
So today we're going to cover some What's in Our Cup, quilt threads, woolly workings, spinning yarns, yarn on the go, wool gathering, and kniterature. Oh, and
Okay.
events. I always forget to write that one down.
I'm in a Star Wars house, can you tell?
Nice.
For everyone who's listening to us, my mom has big glass mugs with Star Wars logo printed on them. That's the original trilogy.
Nice. That's some nice, what, episode 4? I don't know.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6 for the original one. I couldn't tell you which one that's from though. I'm not that good.
So what's in your cup today? Your nice Star Wars cup.
In my mom's Star Wars cup, I've been drinking some Saskatoon berry lemonade, which my mom got from the Pearson's Berry Farm, which the jug told me was started in 1969.
Nice.
I have no idea if they're available online or not. Mom and Dad found them at a home and garden show, which are like my favorite trade shows to attend because you always just find the most amazing weird things there. I love it. She found lemonade, pre-mixed lemonade that I can drink.
That is quite the find.
That was quite the find, folks. Oh, we went a little crazy in co-op today buying vegetables, and I had to carry them all home.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'll teach you for buying vegetables.
No, it won't.
No, you're right.
I'll go buy more next week. I just won't learn. I refuse.
There are worse things.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, we had to keep the
Sorry, go ahead.
we had to keep the pre-made burgers cold, so I also got ice cream to keep the insulated bag chilled.
Oh, hardship. Hardship.
I interrupted your hot leaf juice. I apologize.
In my polka dot mug, I have some hibiscus. I think it's got a fancier name than that, but it's the hibiscus stuff from traditional medicinals. Oh, and it has a little saying on the. It's got a proverb on the little tag thingy.
That's fancy.
Plant,
What's our proverb?
plant kindness and gather love.
Man, you're drinking a hippie tea.
Yeah, I really am. It's
there's
delicious
no other
though,
word for
and
that.
it's. Can I tilt it just enough? Okay, I can tilt it just enough that you can
Oh,
see
it's
that
that red stuff.
it's bright red,
Oh,
and
it's so
hibiscus is
red.
so tasty.
You're on your own with that. I am not a hibiscus tea fan.
I love it.
Go figure. The non-floral drinking tea person doesn't like floral tea. Who knew?
It doesn't even taste. It tastes more fruity than floral, honestly.
Ugh, I'm not a like even your rose
Fair, yeah.
green. Yeah, like that was still too flowery for me. It was a good tea, but not something I'd go reaching for.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Suppose we should move on to what we're wearing or cool threads.
Yeah. I totally forgot to actually bring any of my stuff in here. That was good planning. How about you talk about your stuff, and I'll go grab one of my things.
That works.
Mic off.
We've reached that time of year for everybody that I have pulled out my lighter summery shawls. So for me, that includes the Exploration Station, which is a nice lightweight fingering weight, which one I have brought with me to Saskatoon, and my Stormy Sky shawl, which is the one that I'm wearing today.
Mic on.
This one is made out of the colorway Really Seriously Annoyed Grapes from I Can Do This, Ancient Art Yarns.
Yes.
And I love this colorway so freaking much.
I love the name of that colorway so freaking much.
I'm so tempted to order a sweater's quantity worth.
Ooh, do they do it in worsted weight?
Well, I could just do like a comfort fade cardi or a so faded pullover.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And just not fade.
That would look really nice.
Yeah. In a full sweater, that'd be just or even a Mycroft or something, like something with like just incredibly simple, minimalistic details.
Yeah.
And this yarn would just pop. And those are all fingering weight sweaters, so the temptation abounds, people. Temptation abounds. Well, I would wear it, even like a plain cardigan.
Yeah.
Just do that and do a contrasting band color for like cuffs and around the bottom and stuff. That would look great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would look so good. Gray, obviously.
Well, clearly.
Clearly. So there's that. And did I finish my project page for Really Seriously Annoyed Grapes? I must have.
I don't know. I don't honestly remember. I haven't had to link to it in a while. We'll find out.
We'll know shortly, people. I was wearing my Not a Lot of Rain in April shawl, but I did not bring it out here with me to Saskatoon because the temperatures tend to be a smidge bit warmer up here on average this time of year, and I'm really not looking for a worsted weight shawl at +10. Good shawl. Super excited to wear it, but I'm going to have to wait till it cools down a little. So that one I did it with Victorian Bricks colorway from Cloud9 Fiberworks. I probably could list all the stuff I used in my Exploration Station. I don't want to.
Fair.
Diana, my dear, you fetched what it was that you have been wearing?
So the Katie hat continues to get lots and lots of wear. I have not worn a single other hat since I finished this hat. I'm not sure. I think I wore my sock head like once or twice because this super didn't go with what I was wearing. But I absolutely love this Katie hat. I am so happy, and I am really glad that I did all the pattern hacks that I did because I love it all the more for it. Because this two-color brioche is just so fun. And
Two-color brioche is delightful.
and even the inside of this hat, it just looks so cool. I'm just so pleased with this hat. I really enjoy it. The only reason I haven't worn it inside out is because I didn't do a great job weaving in my ends and they're sticking out a little bit in some places.
That's fair.
So I wear it with the more gray dominant side. But I love this
That's
hat.
fine.
I wear my Bloomsbury mitts at work all the time. They live on my desk. And I'm still wearing wool socks because I have perpetually cold feet.
It's true. That's okay.
I will keep wearing them through the summer.
You do. You really do wear socks all summer.
I do. Unless I am specifically wearing sandals for a very specific reason, I am wearing socks, and they're probably wool socks.
Crazy lady.
I know. Absolutely
Crazy.
insane. Well, they're so comfy, and they wick away the sweat, and they actually keep your feet feeling nicer than if you wear synthetic socks, because then everything just gets clammy and gross feeling.
I'm just anti-sock in the summer.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The type of sock is irrelevant to me come July. There is no sock.
Love me some wool socks all year.
Oh, I love wool socks otherwise, but
maybe not at plus 30.
No socks for me.
Maybe.
I have my super thin cotton ones that I wear around the inside of the house right now. That's it. And they'll be gone in the next month or two.
I've got giant fluffy ones on right now.
Little electric pink ankle socks.
I was wearing ankle socks today. It was nice out. I sat on the patio and did my work. It was a
I
beautiful
know,
day
you
today.
told me.
I did say that already, didn't I? When we talked beforehand, I never remember what I've said to you when we were and weren't recording.
You're in charge of recording. I never know what happens before recording.
Hey, I tell you when we start.
At some point, you just look at me and go, okay, start now. And I go, okay. I like the pre-programmed creature I am. I just start.
So that's all our cool threads?
That's it. We're going to have to retire that section soon, I think.
Nah, socks for days.
Socks for days?
Days.
Well, theoretically, I've got some cotton stuff I'm finishing up. I'll have cotton in the summer this year. We might be able to keep cool threads all year this time.
Maybe. We'll see. I've got that cotton linen shawl.
If you ever finish it.
If I ever finish it. All right. So Woolly Workings.
Yes.
I have like 3 and a bit things.
Oh, I have 3 things.
Okay. Shall I start with my bit because that is relevant to the rest of my things?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I think I mentioned on the podcast last week that I had given myself some kind of repetitive strain injury from using my mouse wrong at work. So
trust me. We've all been laughing at you all week.
Yeah, I've been feeling really old. So so it's been kind of painful to knit. I haven't been able to do more than a few rows of knitting at a time. Crochet is better, but still not great. So mostly I've done a lot of spinning. But what I also did was, since I presented my first solo hour-long talk on Wednesday, my deal with myself was after that I could start a new project, which involved winding yarn. And I very, very foolishly wound 300 grams of worsted weight yarn by hand. And then that went ever so well that I decided to tackle this skein of yarn that I'd had sitting around for a while that was slightly damaged, and I wanted to wind it off into little balls. So I wound like 200 grams of fingering weight by hand. And so now my wrist really, really hurts, and I really can't knit because I made good decisions.
For everybody listening, Diana is excellent at the excuse making the last couple of weeks.
But look at all these stupid little balls. Like, look at how...
Why did you not magic ball that?
I still would have had to wind it all by hand, so...
Well, yeah, but you just would have had one big ball.
Yeah, I didn't think of it. I just wound them all off.
Okay.
I just wanted to get it wound and out of the way because it's been hanging. It's been a lamp necklace for like 6 months, and I just wanted to get it out of the way.
I know. I've been watching it.
So I got myself a Yarn Swift this week with the intent that I was going to start a new project. So I also wound this off. I don't know what it's going to be. It is lovely. It is pink and purple and white and so soft, 2-ply fingering weight. It'll be something with tassels because I've got all these stupid short little bits.
That's fair.
I might dive into the curls books and make a curls out of it
Ooh,
and give it tassels.
that would be amazing. Those curls books are phenomenal.
So that is why I have done so little work on anything else
Uh-huh.
except for my spinning
Uh-huh.
because I made good decisions about how much to use my wrist.
Now is not the time you want me to point out the severe wrist injury and the yardage for last year's Stash Dash, is it?
I was actually thinking about that today, and yeah, so I made
Nope.
poor
Okay.
decisions, and yeah,
Yep. Got it.
yeah.
Got it.
So yes,
Okay. Okay. Just saying.
so there's my bit. I still have 3 things to talk about.
My first project to talk about, I can't show you because it is a finished item sitting at home awaiting pickup. I finished that little quick infinity scarf that I was making.
Oh yes, the one out of
Yep.
that fancy yarn.
The Barocco Arrow yarn. Yeah.
Yes, that crazy light yarn where you pick it up and you're like, am I holding anything?
But it's alpaca, so it is wonderfully light and warm. So super happy with it. But again, I wasn't going to bring it out here with me, seeing as my friend is picking it up from the house.
Fair, fair.
That wouldn't make much sense.
You took pictures of it though, right? Right?
No. I texted my sister today. Can you take photos of that before it goes away, please?
Project pages. I
It
tried. I
doesn't.
tried so
It does.
hard.
It doesn't even have a pattern.
I know. All I can link to is the yarn.
There is no pattern for it. I didn't make one. I jotted down some notes. I probably could recreate it, but that's it.
Well, the yarn is lovely, so
The yarn's delightful. I enjoy
you
working at
get the
it.
gist of it.
Yep.
From yeah. All right. Well, I talked about starting a project, so I guess
You
I'll
talk
show it
about your
off.
not a lot of rain in April.
I started Not a Lot of Rain in April because it just looks
Woohoo!
like way too much fun, and I had this lovely 300 grams of
Fuck
worsted
me.
weight sitting in my stash going, yes, that's what I want to be.
That is so big.
I know.
Oh my god.
So this is, I have the card in here, hang on. It's hiding at the bottom of the bag, of course. Okay, so this is Cedars and Spruce is the colorway on the base Nimbostratus Worsted from Cloud9 Fiberworks. I saw this yarn at her booth like 4 or 5 separate times before I finally caved and bought it. I really needed to have this yarn in my life. It is so beautiful. It's like a rusty brown up to oxidized copper. It's like a blue but with a green tint to it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's like
Which
the whole thing looks
you
like
can't,
oxidized copper or
which
like
you can't
copper and
see because the brown is on the outside right now.
yeah, it's difficult to show off. I have some better pictures of this in natural light. It
It's
looks
okay.
absolutely stunning in natural light. This light is not
Oh,
doing it justice.
I want to see it knit up in a shawl.
Oh, yes, because I actually did start the shawl. I got like 10 rows in to the beginning of a shawl before I
Yeah,
couldn't anymore.
that's fair.
So it knits up like this. That's not even 10 rows, that's like 5 rows.
I was like, I'm not sure if you know how to count.
No, I
And for the
don't.
record, you
I was,
code. You
I was,
really should know how to count.
do you know how common off by 1 errors are? We can't count.
Okay, okay. That's not a good sign, people.
No, it's really not. So it looks really nice all knit up. I've got my little Argyle sheep stitch marker on it, marking the front. And
Good.
I'm using some stitch markers that I got, I think, at the Manitoba Fiber Festival last year.
I want to say yes.
I have a whole tea set, but I'm using the tea saucers on this one because I only need the two
Yeah,
stitch markers.
I think it was the Fiber Festival you picked those up at.
Pretty sure. Anyway.
It was that or the Blue Hills last year, one of the two.
I don't think I went to Blue Hills last year, so it has to be the Fiber
Nope.
Festival.
You did not, so yeah, it's Fiber Festival.
Sweet. So that's my tiny little Not a Lot of Rain in April by Cozy Up
That's fine.
Knits. I'm doing this on the pattern recommended 5.5 millimeters. This is my Rosewood interchangeable set from Knit Picks that was my Christmas present to myself like 4 years ago. 5 years ago? Several years ago for Christmas, I bought them for myself.
4 years ago.
Sure. Anyway, I hope this cord is going to be long enough. I suspect it probably won't be.
That's fine. Shells bunch up great.
Yeah. Anyway, so I want to get far enough into this that I have the pattern well established and memorized so that I can knit it without really paying attention to it by the time I'm at a day-long volunteer event on Wednesday.
Good luck.
Yeah. And then I'm at another volunteer event on Friday night because Mr. Diana is part of the 501st Legion, so he's dressing up in his fancy stormtrooper armor.
He's stormtrooping it up, is he?
He is. But I have to be his spotter because he literally can't spot anything in that ridiculous helmet. So I need to spot the small humans that are running up to him and tell him to stop and pose.
I want to send him a text and go, "Welcome to my world."
Like, you can't see anything below like chin level, like, because even if you
Neither can
tilt your head down, the helmet gets in the way.
I mean, it's not a helmet getting in my way, but
Yeah.
I do have obstacles for seeing small humans.
Well, he can't carry a cane as part of his costume, so...
No, it would not be screen accurate.
No, so I have to go with him for that, but mostly I'm just going to be standing on the edge with not much to do. And then again, on Saturday, I signed up for another day-long volunteer event, a lot of which is going to be me standing on the side until I'm needed.
Crazy lady.
So that's going to go great with the wrist injury.
Yeah, I'm going shopping Friday.
Yeah. I like to volunteer too much.
You volunteer a lot. Like, I should volunteer more. I don't volunteer enough, but I think you make up for 2 people's worth of volunteering, so...
Does it make it any better that on Wednesday it's on behalf of work volunteering, and so it's not like personal volunteer hours, it's work volunteer hours? They just happen to line up on the same week?
No.
Okay. I tried.
Volunteering is good all around. I just need to do more of it, and you need to do less, so we need to find that balance. That's the tricky part.
It's just they tend to clump up for whatever
I'm too busy
reason.
making sweaters.
Ooh, pretty. Tell us about your sweater.
So busy making sweaters. Here's the back piece of the My First Sweater Knit Along being hosted by Marley Bird with Red Heart Yarns, as Marley Bird is the national spokeswoman for Red Heart Yarns. Here is my back piece.
Stripey!
Isn't it beautiful?
It's so stripey.
So drapey because I went up those millimeter size in hooks, so I went a bit bigger on my gauge, and I'm knitting a smaller size. Yes, I am definitely going to have to upgrade this from a My First sweater to a My First sweater with grosgrain ribbon. Because my top panel piece, which is this wonderful little sort of, I want to say like broken rib.
Okay.
Pattern at the top piece definitely needs some structure because this is my shoulder piece and it goes like this with absolutely this is 100% acrylic yarn that I'm using. Yeah, so I'm like, nope, this needs some structure, guys. So I'm going to it has to be hand sew because my sewing machine's at home. I have to go buy some grosgrain ribbon and hand sew on some grosgrain ribbon on my top pieces to give it some structure. But I have my armholes marked.
Excellent, excellent.
It is a drapey rectangle sweater.
It's going to look so good.
It's 2 rectangles with some sleeves. It is going to be amazingly boat-necked, super drapey. I have added a little bit of extra length to it because I'm a bit taller. And at my size, I am going to do a light blocking, so I'll get some length that way as well too. So that's coming along. Back panel is done.
What yarn was that again?
This is the Loops and Threads. Oh my goodness, my back. Faucet. I obviously brought it all with me. Facet Stones.
Oh, yes.
This one happens to be in a beautiful range of greens to coppery golds. Mom was helping me with the colors. So here's my front piece.
Excellent.
So
I'm
I
so
gotta get,
excited for this.
this is what, 6 inches? I've got another 20-inch, no, 14, 15 inches to go. I have to be at, it's a free pattern. I have to be at 18 inches, mark an armhole, then I have to go another 7 1/4, and I go 8, and then I gotta do the ribbing again.
That sounds like a lot of knitting.
Yes, yes, it is. But I'm on vacation, so it's okay.
Awesome.
I can have knitting time. We're setting up the gazebo tomorrow, so I'll even have outside knitting time.
Ooh.
Ooh, ah.
Yeah, I
And
need
my
to.
fancy new phone and fancy new headphones.
It's gonna be glorious.
I'm so excited.
I need to clean off my balcony, sweep off the winter's worth of grits, and set up my
Oh
patio
yeah,
set so I can sit out there and knit. Looking forward to
absolutely.
that.
Before it gets hot and disgusting.
Well, it's still a little bit cold in the morning to be out there, but I think if I was out there with some nice
Hot
cozy
cup of
slippers,
coffee.
hot drink, some cozy slippers, and a fuzzy blanket, I think I'd be okay.
Super segue. I
Mm.
almost always I buy holiday mugs when I go places, right? So it's my thing that I bring home. Just cheesy mugs, usually with sayings on them. And I've found the two final candidates, but I have to decide if I want one with a lid on it that says "How I like my coffee." Space handed to me. So you see why it's on the short list, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or the other one says "Auntie, like a mom, only cooler."
I think I like the first one.
I'm leaning towards the first one, so I'll wait. I found part of your birthday gift too today.
Oh, fun.
I've only been here for 24 hours, guys. I'm so on the ball this year.
Okay, well, I haven't made it to Amsterdam yet, so I don't have any of your birthday present.
You've literally not left the country yet. It's okay. And I'm not going to be texting you the moment you land. Where's my birthday art? That's ridiculous. I know you're doing it. I just like to bug you about it on TV, on the internet. Sorry.
Totally on TV.
You guys,
Uh,
I swear
okay.
I'm awake. You're next.
Alright, so here in my teacup bag from Dragon Fiber Bags, I have the Celtic Myth shawl, which doesn't have nearly enough progress on it because knitting small needles wasn't working very well. Which is really a shame because I found all of my knitting motivation for this since I set up the Knit Companion app. I've been really liking it. I've decided to keep
Yep.
it with its
Yep.
$13 Canadian for a year-long subscription because it just takes away that extra step of messing around with the washi tape every row, and I can do it one-handed and I don't have to put all of my knitting down and use two hands and mess with the curly tape, and like I didn't even realize it was that much of a hassle until I
It
didn't
is a
have to do it
huge
anymore.
hassle. I watch you guys with your print patterns. I think you're crazy. I've been digital for a while now, and I love it.
Yeah, so seriously plugging Knit Companion.
Yep, I think we should. It's a very good. It's a very
So
good helper.
this is how much progress I made today. It's approximately one pattern repeat, not quite.
Hey, even a little bit of progress is progress, and it all counts.
So I made it a tiny bit farther. I think I decided I was about a third of the way through this. Edging high. Okay, come here, come here, come here. Don't knock my bright red tea over. Just come here.
Oh, hello, Stormtrooper. How are you doing today? Hi. I broke a tooth.
Jocelyn says she broke her tooth.
Yes, it does. To go to the dentist on my vacation. Damn it.
Success. I'm glad.
Hey,
You
look,
can bend.
I have the appropriate cup today.
Putting my shoes on is still a little hard.
Oh yeah, you got fully dressed all by yourself. Good job.
Oh,
That
that's
sounds like a
exciting.
weird thing to say to an adult. You got dressed all by yourself.
Except now I'm imagining the motivational poster where it's the guys in the Stormtrooper armor, and that's what it says on the bottom. I might have to make that just for Christmas.
All right, you're very imposing. Go away now. You're scaring me.
Bye.
He said, "Don't forget to knit," while he was pointing.
Oh my gosh, that's delightful. Bye. That's what we need. We need a photo of him posing with your knitting stuff. That's what we need. Oh my god.
Does that mean you need help right now? Okay. He needs help getting out of it. He got into it, but he can't get out. Okay. What was I talking about?
You were talking about the edge of your shawl, and you were a third of the way done, and you
Oh, yeah.
completed one repeat row this week.
Right, yes.
Oh.
So this is the Celtic Myth shawl, the fingering weight version. There's also a worsted weight version. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'm doing this out of, I'll remember this one day, Juniper Moon Farm Zoe base. It is cotton and linen. Color number 9, which is a grayish brown, a brownish gray. Whichever you like.
Yeah, that's interchangeable, dude. That's the same words, one way, one the other.
Depends on the lighting whether it looks more brown or more gray. It looks more gray in natural light and more brown right now.
Brown.
It's
Yeah,
a semicircular
definitely
shawl with a crazy cabled edging.
edging.
And I'm so excited to have it done and wear it, and it's going to be gorgeous and beautiful and all of the nice things. So go 3 years ago, Diana, deciding to start making that.
Okay.
I've learned how to cable without a cable needle now, and I also know how to read cables and fix cables now, which I did not know 3 years ago when I started that thing. And so it was, I guess, just a little ambitious for my skill at the time, but now I won't say it's easy, but it's a lot easier than I found it 3 years ago.
Nothing wrong with having an ambitious lifestyle habit
Not
when it comes
at
to your
all.
hobbies.
No. How are you going to learn if you don't pick ambitious goals? So
I'm sliding towards mostly blind. I might pick up cross stitch. What could possibly go wrong, guys?
I'm okay. I'm just not going to say anything.
Nope, leave it alone. I'm out of my mind.
I foresee a lot of band-aids in your future. I'll just go with that.
Whatever. There's a lot of band-aids in my current life. Never mind my future.
Fair.
That won't change much.
So what else are you working on?
The only other active project I've got on the go at the moment are my socks, which I worked on. If you guys had checked out our Instagram, or if you follow us on Instagram, which is Northern Knits Podcast on Instagram, you will have seen my Boo socks sitting on the dashboard of my dad's truck at one of the truck stops. I made some serious progress.
Nice. Those look like they're almost ready for heels.
Once I get to the end of the last of this orange, white, orange striping, it's actually heel length, just a smidge past that. So
Excellent.
I am quite close to a heel on these. I do my socks 2 at a time toe up. The socks are called Boo because the colorway is Boo by Sea Turtle Fiber Arts. It is a self-striping color work on a white base with some black, some Walmart costume purple, and some candy corn orange. I almost said candy cane again.
Candy cane orange.
Candy cane orange. It's my sort of my travel knitting at the moment and my movie knitting. So I'm hoping to get the heel put in or like marked off before I go to the movies with my mom in the next week or so that we are super okay on that front and I don't have to worry about things. And I can knit on my socks in the dark while we watch the latest Marvel movie when it comes out.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got one last thing.
But don't worry, people. I brought backup.
Oh, good. Fear not, there will be knitting.
There's these 2 skeins here in my hot little hands. This wonderful white and this beautiful stormy sky color, which, by the way, is called lavender, which I find hilarious considering I hate the plant, but I love the colorway so very much. It's going to be that Winter on My Mind shawl.
Ah, okay.
Complete with needles. I don't know what I'm going to do with the other 4 skeins of fingering weight I brought with me. 2 of them are the Pima cotton I got from Creek Garden Crafts. I'm very excited to make something with. What? I don't know. I brought back up yarn, guys. We're good. I'm buying yarn while I'm out here.
I think you'll be okay.
And I also signed up to test knit something.
Of course.
It's a crocheted blanket with faux cables up the middle. How could I say no?
True.
I couldn't say no. Obviously. All right.
So I've got one last thing.
Okay, I'm out of things.
You may remember from a few episodes ago, I had a fiber flub wherein I was trying to make a lamb hat for a small child, and I
I
ran out of
do.
yarn. So I pulled it back a bit,
Yep.
and I decided I was going to turn it into a sheep toy.
Yes, how did the sheep toy turn out?
I'm almost done.
Oh, I didn't take long enough at dinner, did I?
So I do have a pair of safety eyes. I just haven't finalized their position, so they're not in it yet. But
Okay.
see, he's got his cute little nose and
Uh-huh.
his little ears.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh,
Where's his feet?
He still needs feet. I need to finish attaching this one ear, and he needs feet. So I'm gonna make four little feet on the bottom here, and
Do you know what that reminds me of? An anime character.
which anime character?
Have you ever watched Kamasami Kiss?
No.
Okay. I'll recommend it because it's a delightful romantic comedy. In fact, the narrator says, and the opening of the first episode was, but don't worry, this is a delightful romantic comedy. It's like,
Okay, Kanasami Kiss. I will
Kiss.
link to that in the show notes.
Oh, you guys. It is very delightful and very, very lighthearted. But they get to meet the incoming gear guardian, which happens to be the sheep. But the sheep has decided that fluff is all the rage, so they couldn't get him into the shrine because his fluff was bigger than the doorway to the shrine, that's what that reminds me of.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have emerged. Success.
Woohoo!
So. The Velcro tried eating one of his socks.
Well, that's not good.
But he was victorious.
Okay, if he'd lost to Velcro, we would be laughing harder.
Hey, you know what? Velcro's hard.
We would still be laughing harder.
So this is my cute little sheepy toy. I will make sure to take lots of pictures of him when he's done.
Absolutely.
So the white is Bernat Pipsqueak, which is,
Yes.
I believe, a chunky weight yarn that is not quite fun for levels of fluffy. It's very difficult to work with. I guessed a lot where the stitches were, so it is not a beginner friendly yarn, but it makes it so poofy. And then the brown is just some leftover loops and threads charisma, and probably it's just called brown. I don't know.
Probably.
But it's just chunky brown yarn to make his. And then all I did for the nose and the ears are actually all the same shape. It's just how I sewed it on. It's just a chain 4 with a slip stitch join, but I left for the nose I left the little knots from the slip stitches or the initial slip knot and the slip stitch join. I left those sticking out, and I sewed it on in such a way that to sort of accent those. And then for the ears, they're exactly the same thing, but I took the little knotted ends and they're next to the head, so the ears look round.
Oh,
and the nose
nifty
looks
idea.
triangular. So it's the exact same shape. I'm going to make 4 more of the exact same shape for the feet. He's going to have 4 stubby little toes.
Yes, he will.
I actually might sew them on just like the ears too, so that they look like stubby little toes.
Yeah, I like that.
My current thing is trying to figure out how to sew it all on well enough that a small human's not going to rip it off.
That is always the debate.
Yeah, so I'm just figuring out how to secure them appropriately for a small child. I'm very confident in my nose, less confident in the ears, so I'm currently figuring that out.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he'll be done soon, and then I'll take a lot of pictures, and he can go off to his final home, or she. I don't know. It. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. It's a derpy little sheep toy that is a failed hat rescued into a sheep toy.
It is a derpy little sheep toy, but I like it.
I'm really happy with the derpy little sheep toy. I believe I called the project page Derpy Sheep Toy.
Oh, jeez.
All right. That is all my knitting and crochet.
That's it? That's all?
Yep.
All right, my dear. What's next?
Spinning yarns, because I do have
That's
spinning.
You. That's all you.
So, because my wrist was so sore, I did a lot of spinning. In fact, this entire bobbin is finished plied yarn. This is completed yarn on this bobbin.
I'm now going to point out that you need to pull it off, scan it up, and give it a bath.
I know. I don't have a nitty naughty though, and I really don't want to wind any more yarn right now because it's aggravating wrist.
That's fair. I just needed to point it out, being the, jerk that I am.
So it's finished, but it's not finished.
Yeah. You still got some steps, but you're a lot
Yeah.
closer than you were when you started, which is amazing.
I do still have some single ply left on a bobbin though, and I'm not really sure what to do with this because there's quite a bit of it.
Wind it off.
Oh, hey, it just occurred to me I could chain ply it because that only requires one ply.
It's true. Do
Okay,
it.
I'm chain
'Cause
plying
then you
this
can
one.
play.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to chain ply this.
Because then you can learn chain plying techniques.
Excellent, which as far as I understand is basically just crochet.
Don't ask me, man. I haven't attempted chain ply. I haven't even looked at it yet.
So that's what I'm going to do with this. This will get chain plied. So
Good
this
plan.
was all originally a braid of fiber from Hillary's Magical Yarnorium. I got it, I think, at the first ever Manitoba Fiber Festival, so that was several years ago. I got
Was
that
it there
well.
first? You got it before we were podcasting, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first braid of fiber I had, and I got it so long ago. It was definitely at the Manitoba Fiber Festival, though. And it was
Okay.
called Eye of Jupiter, so it had red, yellow, orange, blue, purple, the red spot on Jupiter colors. I don't know if there's any blue in there, actually. But anyway, it's really pretty. And I'm super excited to have a skein of yarn. Actually, it's going to be 2 skeins, a big skein and a smaller skein. I'm so excited. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. Probably I'm just going to sit it on a shelf and go, look, I made that.
For a while, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm really pleased with that. So that is all of the things that I have been making this week. Maybe I should have wrist injuries more often because I worked on more of a variety of stuff.
Crafted more now, post wrist injury, than you have in the last 3.5 months, fully wrist healthy. Just gonna point that out.
The only thing I actually made any real progress on was the spinning because that doesn't involve wrist movement. Like, the sheep toy was basically done, minus little accessories, and I didn't make a whole lot of progress on the Celtic myths, and I made, 0 progress on Not a Lot of Rain in April, except to wind the yarn, which is what got me into this mess in the first place.
Well, that teaches you to wind 300 grams of worsted weight.
Yeah, I know, right?
Without taking breaks.
Yeah. I've learned my lesson.
Alright, as long as you learned your lesson, that's the important part.
I learned my lesson. So yarn on the go.
I am yarn on the go.
Yes, because you're in Saskatoon.
I am. This will be my home base for the next little bit. I don't tend to do a lot of knitting when I'm out with my mom. We tend to be doing touristy things or shopping things or visiting mom-daughter things. But I do a lot of it when we're having rest time and stuff. So I will probably get a lot of progress on stuff done, though it will most likely be all in the house. Technically, it's on the go. I will try to do a little bit of knitting when we go out to the berry barn, because A, it makes for great photos, and B, it's just kind of nice to sit out on a bench beside a river next to a berry patch.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
It is.
You should bring
so
a thermos
much fun.
of tea.
But don't have to. There's a restaurant inside the barn, and that's where I get my Saskatoon berry crumble, and my mom gets her Saskatoon berry milkshake.
Even better.
And I eat salad, and my dad looks at me weird because it's rabbit food.
Yeah. I like rabbit food.
That's where the Saskatoon berry salad dressing comes home from every year.
Ah.
And that little sign that I have on my fireplace that says I can't control what my face does when you talk to me. My parents bought me that from there. Little tiny tent plastic mold signs you stick on desks. Mine just happens to be insulting.
Nice.
I have another one that says, to be fair, I was left unattended.
That's very you.
Uh-huh.
I went a couple places this week.
I went one big place, guys. I'm here.
That is a lot of go.
Well, we were also at Jackie's. I did knitting there.
Oh, yes. I did too a little bit.
Yeah.
We did some gaming.
We did a lot of character creation.
Yes.
We have sentient potholes and load-bearing Girl Scouts. All went well.
The game is called Invisible Sun, in case anybody's interested in very complex RPGs. I'll link to it in the show notes.
Because I picked the most complicated character. I'm in over my head.
You know what? I don't
Delightfully.
think any of those characters are easy.
No. But it's going to be so much fun to play.
Yes, it is. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, Mr. Diana is DMing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm playing Grandma Jules.
You are.
I haven't decided if I'm actually like really old or I just act really old. I don't know. Everything's sort of nebulous in that game.
It is very nebulous in that game. Whatever. I'm looking forward to seeing Mr. B interact with his parliament of owls that he has for neighbors.
Yes, the literal parliament.
It's going to be amazing.
Order.
Yep. Just in my head, that visual image that I described to everyone is going to stick, and I know it is.
So good.
So good. All right. What else did you go to this week that you were able to knit at?
I went out to my parents' place for a barbecue on Saturday because it was beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And I did a little bit of knitting there. But then I also, in slightly exciting news, was on the radio on Wednesday morning. Like
You
CBC
were, I heard you.
Actual radio. And so I took my knitting with me there. You may have seen the picture I posted on Instagram, because I didn't know what was going on and I was really, really nervous, and it was early in the morning and I hadn't slept much because we were gaming the night before, so I was running on about 4 hours of sleep.
I was like, we need to finish by 10. We rolled out of Jackie's at 10:40. You had to be up at 4:30 in the morning. I was so asleep, the boys helped me to the door, so I must have looked exhausted. I mean, I was.
It was good, though. And apparently the radio thing went fine, and knitting before radio interviews when you don't know what's going on, really great for nerve calming.
Oh,
So.
it was a wonderful interview. I mean, I did it from the comfort of my home in my pajamas while feeding my cat breakfast. But I was awake for you.
Appreciate it. My parents recorded it for me. I still haven't listened to it. Everybody has only good things to say about it, so I guess I did okay. I'm just really afraid to listen to it.
You're not going to like the sound of your own voice.
I mean, I'm pretty used to hearing my own voice from doing this.
Okay, well, that doesn't mean you're going to like it when you hear it. You're like, that was live.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to that feeling by now, so.
Yeah.
It's probably okay.
It does desensitize us a little, doesn't it?
It's very helpful. Podcasting, great for preparing for impromptu radio interviews.
Public speaking.
And then I did my solo hour-long talk about accessibility on the internet on Wednesday evening.
I was so sad I couldn't make it out to that, my dear.
It was basically oh wait, did you hear the short version?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you haven't heard that talk yet.
I haven't heard the talk yet.
Well, it went really well, and the organizer of a different conference, who was kind of running this thing, he said, yeah, for sure you could do it at other conferences. It sounded good. So I'm conference ready, apparently.
Woohoo! That's
so
exciting.
I will be doing it at more conferences, and you can come to one of those ones.
I would love to, since I'm the blind friend you mentioned.
In fact, yes,
I'd like to be there.
Yes, it definitely. It would be really cool if I could be like, and my inspiration for doing this whole thing is sitting here in the front row. And
knitting at me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll totally sit in the front row and knit. I did. Well, you saw how busy I was, and even on Saturday, I still had things I had to do before I left Sunday morning.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Busy.
Oh, it's gonna go up online at some point. I screen recorded and voice recorded, so it won't be the highest quality, but you'll at least be able to hear me and see my slides.
When that happens, you'll have to share the links with us so we can go over and watch it. Yeah, absolutely.
It won't happen for a few weeks yet, but I will share links when that happens.
You're getting ready to leave the country.
Yeah. So we shall see when that happens.
Cool beans. All right.
Cool.
Well,
so that's my going.
That's a lot of going.
I did a lot of stuff this last week.
Yes, you did.
That's why I rewarded myself with starting a new project, which I then ruined my wrist on winding the yarn.
Weirdo.
Yeah. Rewarded
right, my
myself
dear.
poorly.
You really did. I've already forgotten what's after Card on the Go.
Wool gathering.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, you can talk for a bit.
It's late at night, man. What do you want? Oh, goodness. We're letting everybody a great big thank you to all the patrons who were able to make it out to the knit or what do we want to call it? Stay at home knit club.
Virtual knit hangout.
I like stay at home knit club better.
Sure. Call it whatever you like. We sit at home and we knit.
It's true, we do, and we chat on Google Hangouts, and it's really nice to be able to like see everybody's projects and what they're working on. Suzanne's yarn, that sweater that's being made. Oh,
Yeah.
Pookie's doing. Oh, so pumped! I'm so jealous you get to go meet her shortly. So that was delightful and fun. If you don't know what Patreon is, it is a online support community that allows you to give over some dineros, some green bucks, as you will, to help support your favorite content creators. We are by no means the only people on there. There are amazing people on there for
So
supporting.
many amazing people.
So many amazing people. So if you can, it's cool. If you can't, you know what? Liking, sharing, subscribing, leaving comments, that's just as helpful, guys.
Yep.
Just as helpful. Yeah.
Interacting with our content in any way ranks
Helps
it higher
us.
in the algorithm. So.
Yeah. Cold hard math. In reality, Jocelyn just likes talking to everybody, so if you leave comments on YouTube and Instagram, I can talk to you guys, and it makes me feel important and loved. No, it's not. Oh, the guilt tripping. Yeah. Listen. I'm going back for more of those cinnamon bite pretzels tomorrow. God, those were good. So good. All right. That was sort of like the really big wool gathering was that idea and concept. Heads up, if you were winners of the year-long sock along, you have been following us in all of the drama that has been trying to get a set of minis in so that I can send out these prizes. They are officially in Winnipeg at the house, and I'm not.
Woo!
Whatever. At this point, it's a freaking 3-book trilogy saga, guys. This is just it's just the yarn. So I am no longer going to do giveaways with skein sets. Period.
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a second. Can you repeat that? You're no longer gonna do what?
I'm no longer gonna see. Even the internet won't let me complain about it. The internet says no, Jocelyn. I won't. We'll just do full skein giveaways because those seem to run quite smoothly.
It's just the mini skeins.
Just the mini skeins.
They just fight and they just don't work together.
And I mean, I'm on it. I could have been grumpier with the bad customer service in the first location I went to a lot sooner than I was. I was too nice for too long, and I know better, and yet I sort of just fell into that trap. My fault. Entirely my fault. So, no promises. The sibling might be able to help out, might not. She's just as busy as I am, and she has a small human. So,
her human is not small.
her human is 12, just happens to be 5'6" now.
She's the same height as me?
Yeah. Where have you been?
I don't know. I guess I've been sitting when she walks by lately.
She's taller than her grandmother, and her grandmother's 5'5".
Ah. My goodness.
She's creeping up on her mom, who's 5'7", 5'8", real quick, and then it's Auntie Jocelyn, and our ultimate goal is Grandpa, and Papa comes in at 6'2", 6'3".
Well, she's well on track.
Well on track at 12. So, guys, I'm knitting her a size adult medium sweater. Diana, how tall did you think she was?
I didn't really think about it because either one or the other of us has always been sitting when I've seen her recently. We've never
That's
both
fair.
been standing.
Standing at the same time. If you point it out, she'll jump up and proudly show off her height to you. So she likes to hold on my shoulder and jump and then say she's taller than me.
Mm-hmm. As many kids do.
So, but between our MMA classes, the fact that we got birds, which are very first pets for us, she's very excited by, and caring for my cat while I'm gone. They're a smidge busy.
A little bit.
So there's that. But I think that's it for wool gathering that we really had to worry about.
Oh, we're taking a 2-week vacation in May?
We are taking a 2-week vacation. Well, Diana is leaving us May the 8th.
Yep, I'm leaving you on May the 8th.
She's running away to Europe for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
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 So we will take a 2-week vacation. That doesn't mean you won't have video content.
Yes,
You just won't have.
We are pre-recording some vlogs, but they're not episodes.
No. So there won't be audio content. So if you do listen to us on Audible, it'll look, or on audio format, it will look like we've gone dark. We've not. We just are just going to throw out vlogs, which is really kind of weird to do as audio.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
not a nice clean way to
No.
schedule release the audio that I
No.
with our current setup, but
Yeah,
it's really
no.
easy to do scheduled release videos on YouTube. So we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
do that, and there
absolutely.
just won't be audio for 2 weeks.
Yeah. There will be audio in the 3rd week because Diana's going to write down in her notes that she needs to get a hold of Red and teach her how to do it before she flies out.
Yes, in fact, I have a note to text her tonight or tomorrow and see if she wants to help out with this week's show notes so that she can learn.
That seems like a very good decision. So Red is going to be helping out when she's on break from her nursing school to just help me and Diana get some stuff done as we pick up steam and help sort of balance this out with not on full social and job commitment calendars, which we super appreciate so much. I just, oh man, so much appreciation. It's not even funny. So we're gonna do that, and then I'll post a video. If I end up posting like little mini vlogs or something while I'm out, there'll be stuff on Instagram stories, and obviously photos will keep going up and stuff. So there will be content. It just won't strictly be an episode content. So then we can all run little polls on how many finished objects Jocelyn will have when Diana returns from Europe.
You know what? I get a pass. I'm going to Stephen West's yarn store, so.
Oh, I'll get you a total on how much I spent for your birthday before you get out of the country, so you can estimate how much yarn is coming home for me.
All right. Maybe I'll see if I can. I won't promise doing any live streaming while I'm over there because data.
Your
But
internet.
there will be video. Yeah. There will be video.
Yeah. Even if you record it and then just post it when you come home.
Yeah.
Totally super cool because that's definitely a thing. So
I'll post
keep
if
your
I
eyes
can,
open.
but meh.
Not a super. Enjoy your honeymoon. You get one. Enjoy it.
I mean, technically, you can have as many as you want. No, one. One is good. One's lots.
I'm only letting you a free pass for one. You take a second one, you have to record that nonsense. There'll be no farts given at that point. No farts. Not even half a fart.
I don't think I need any farts. Thanks.
No, you sure?
I think I'm okay.
You're good.
I'm good.
Which I think that leaves us with literature and events.
Yep.
Sweet.
So I'm still reading one very dense book.
Uh-huh.
Shadow and Claw by, oh gosh, I didn't write down the author, Gene Wolfe? Gene something. Shadow and Claw, the New Earth series, the Book of the New Sun. It's one of those books where it was released as 4 books and then they smushed it together into 2 books, but now the first book is like, I'm book 1 and 2 of the this series, but I'm the this book of the full series, and like I don't know what to call it. So it's Shadow and Claw.
Sure.
It's really excellent. It's a sci-fi book that reads like a fantasy. Really enjoying it.
You're good?
Yes.
I've started listening to Unmentionable, The Victorian Lady's Guide to Sex, Marriage, and Manners by Teresa O'Neill. It is fairly similar to Stephen Fry's Victorian Secrets. I mean, obviously set up as one solitary book rather than a short like radio series. But so far, freaking delightful. I mean, obviously we did a audible book on the car ride here, and it was Douglas Adams, as it should be for a road trip.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yep.
Yep. So that was delightful. And
yeah. I've just been doing a lot of podcasts in the car.
Which is fair, but we don't all listen to the same podcasts.
No.
We do enjoy...
I've been catching up on the knitting podcasts, and we listen to the same ones. You listen to way more than I do. I listen to a subset of the knitting podcast that you do. So
Guys, I got a new phone, and everything cloned over except for my podcast lists. So I literally have to go find everybody again.
Oh no.
So mad. I had like 40 podcasts, and I've only been able to
Oh,
remember 10, 15 off the top of my head. So, like, as it occurs to me that I'm not listening to them, I have to re-add them in and catch up if I've fallen behind.
that sucks. What podcast app do you use?
Podcast Republic.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll do my podcasts and my RRS feed, which I also have to re-enter manually. So that's all of the online blogs that I follow.
Sucks you have to redo all that.
Grumpy. No, the absolute rest of my phone cloned perfectly. So that is such a small, minor first world problem. I can deal with it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. But that's it for me for literature, because again, we finally got to holiday time, so I've got a bit more reading time. Hopefully,
Excellent.
we'll find out. That's it.
That just brings us to events.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, right now we are running a spring garment make-along. So glad we're both working on our spring garments.
Yeah, I don't even remember what you were making anymore.
Shrug Again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which
Remembered
is
now.
now a life pattern called the Shrug Again from Cozy Up Knits.
Excellent.
And it is a wonderful little shrug pattern. So you guys can now officially go buy that, and Diana can link it in the show notes.
In fact, I can.
Woohoo! So that's what I'm making for it. Diana's gonna make a skirt.
Yes, and I probably will work on it actually for real this time since knitting hurts right now, but I don't imagine that sewing will.
You know, your wrist is a lot more isolated for sewing for the most part. So yeah, you might find that a bit easier on yourself.
Yeah, so I'm probably actually going to sew that this week.
Have you cut it out?
No.
Okay, just checking. The Spring Garment Make-Along is Craft-Along is a event that we are running in conjunction with Laura from the Corner of Knit and Tea. She is another weekly knitting podcaster, which makes complete sense. Any and all adult-sized garments count, so long as you have made it, sewn it, crocheted it, knitted it, woven your own fabric out of for it. Guys, we're pretty open about it. The only real sort of hardcore rule we have is that it has to be adult. It doesn't even have to be in cotton or a summery weight of anything. If you are going into winter and you're making your worsted stuff, make a worsted item. If you prefer superwash merino and dislike cotton, make something with superwash merino. It's totally cool. The idea is just a new garment for yourself, ideally, if you can swing it. Not everybody can. And you have from the spring equinox, which passed us by, to the summer solstice, which is upcoming in June.
June 20th? 21st.
21st.
Okay. It is linked in the
Yeah.
show notes. Or
Yeah.
listed in the show notes?
Listed in the show notes.
With links, in fact.
The prizes for that we have to buy while we're out at the Blue Hills Fiber Festival, which is happening June the 8th in
Yes.
Brandon, Manitoba. They're in the barn with the summer festival, so we have to pay to get into the summer fair. But then we have access to all the fair plus the yarn festival, which means we have access to mini donuts and lemonade.
Oh, hardship.
I know, guys. Guys, it's really tough. If you want to make plans to meet up or see us, if you live in and around the Brandon area and you're going to be in town for the Blue Hills Fiber Festival, let us know. We'll totally make some plans if people are interested in seeing us in real life. Because if you don't book Jocelyn to stand stationary, it's hard to track me down. People lose me all the time.
It's amazing. It's
I have been threatened with the little teddy bear backpack with the coil thing to an adult wrist. I have been threatened with that. I'm a 5'10" loud woman. I don't know how they lose me, but they do every time. Every time.
I think it's because you stop unexpectedly and like bend over to look at stuff, and then
I'm the same height as the table, yeah.
and then suddenly you're lost in the crowd. Like, wait, where'd she go? She's supposed to be tall.
What is going on, people? It's okay. We were in co-op today. I was like, Mom, Barb, come here. Fine, don't hear your child calling your name. Call you by your name, ma'am. I was getting angel food cake for dessert, which is happening after we do this.
Excellent.
So those are the two sort of big events that are coming up. You're going to go to the Little Britain fiber thing in Lockport on the 4th of May, just before you leave. Yep. And then, oh man, Stash Dash starts May the 24th. We don't host, but I do participate quite actively. I use it as a great way to help get through a bunch of half-finished and three-quarter finished objects. The stuff for that can all be linked down below because it is something that is run by the Knit Girls. It is a yearly summer challenge yourself. I think craft along because spinning and crocheting counts. So
Yep.
you set how many kilometers of yarn you think you could knit through or create, and then you proceed to challenge yourself to make that goal in finished items, which is amazing. They're got polls and stuff open up here, so they're just sort of tweaking and adjusting the rules because it is a big community event. So once the rules for this year have been updated and the video's been posted, we will certainly link that for everybody down below. All right, what else we got going on? I'm trying to do it all from memory.
I think that's about it. That's all for the immediate stuff. There's stuff in the fall, but we're nowhere near fall.
Nowhere near fall. No, no. Keep your eyes out as you go to those spring and early summer festivals. There is a big knit along happening starting July the 1st.
Ah, yes.
So keep that in mind. We're going to do another Across the Prairies Cal with a bunch of other lovely podcasting ladies. So as we get closer to that, we'll start dropping details and stuff. But for the moment, it's sort of keep your eyes open for pretty skeins of yarn.
Excellent.
That's really not a hardship for me, guys.
Oh, it's difficult. So difficult lives, really.
Oh, so much. Otherwise, other stuff's happening later in the year, and we can chat about that later. No big rush.
All right.
I think that's it.
I do believe that is it.
All right. Oh gosh. Sun has set out here, which means it's time for me to go have some Kenyan Earl Grey tea. Oh, I brought the Amsterdam Tea Room tea with me. Oh, I brought it.
Excellent.
You got it. And some angel food cake with berries. So I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit. I love that it never sounds online. Sounds correct.
It was good on my end, and that's the one that counts because I've got the recorder.
Bingo. Next problem, fix my tooth. Jeez.